Well, friends, today we're making a fabulous recipe, a stuffed portobello mushroom with goat cheese and mascarpone. If you like the recipe, be sure to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to ring the bell. All right, let me show you how easy it is to do. The first thing we want to do is we want to pick a big portobello mushroom. You want to pick some big ones because it makes it so much easier, because you know what's going to happen is, look how big those are, right? They look big. By the time I cook them, they're going to go from here to here. So it's very important that you pick some big ones. So it makes it a lot easier. And now let me show you how to clean them. You notice then they have gills. They look like the gill of a fish. You see, look, it really does look like the gill of a fish, doesn't it? And some people peel it. I really don't peel it. But I want to remove the stem. And let me show you on this one here, because this is a little bigger, is you don't want to yank it, because if you yank it, there's a good chance you're going to break it. You're going to break the crown. So you know what I do is I hold the crown like this, and then I squeeze it. See, look. If you squeeze it, it comes right out. You see, it's much easier to do it this way, right? You just squeeze it. And then what I do is I take it, well, let me take the big one. It's easier. So I squeeze it, see? Squeeze it and take it out of there. I mean, if you do it carefully, you probably can take it out with a spoon, okay? But look what I do now. I get rid of all that stuff right there, that gill. It really looks like the gill of a fish, doesn't it? And then what we're going to do, we're going to put it in a vinaigrette. We're going to make a beautiful balsamic vinegar and roasted garlic olive oil. And we're going to cook them until they're soft, right? And then we're going to put a cheese mixture on it. I have some beautiful goat cheese, mascarpone cheese with a little garlic, little herbs in there. And we're going to put it in there and we're going to roast them. And then we're going to put the cheese on it. So let me just clean up my mess right there. And then what I do is I take another bowl. I'm just going to do one so I don't spend forever to show you how to do this. And then what I do is I make a nice vinaigrette. And I have my traditional 18-year-old balsamic vinegar, okay? You got to have a good vinegar. You know, at the end of the day, folks, remember, you're only as good as the ingredient you're using, okay? So what I do is I put my vinegar. Look how beautiful that is. Wow, that's 18 years old. 18 years old. And then we're going to put a beautiful basil olive oil. Beautiful. You can put a garlic olive oil. You put a nice olive oil. This is a basil olive oil. It's absolutely gorgeous. See right there? And then what we're going to do, we're going to put a little bit of herb de Provence. Not herb de Pompano, herb de Provence. And I got this beautiful little herb de Provence dispenser. And a little bit of salt and pepper, right there, salt and pepper, right? And we're going to take a fork. We do not want to emulsify this thing. We just want to mix it up really good. No emulsification for this, okay? It's really, really important. And then I'm going to put the mushrooms in there now. And but I have to, I'm going to do this with I will put gloves in there because my hand gets so dirty when I do this. And then it takes me forever to clean it. So I'm going to put those guys in there. Boy, I hate when my doctor does that. Put this right in there. And then, what do you think? I may only need one of them, but since I'm going, I might as well go for the whole thing. Hello, how are you? I'm doing fine, thank you. Look, we're going to take the mushroom right now, friends. And all we're going to do is we're going to put them in there just like that. You see? Just like that. Now, don't be afraid to put a lot of vinaigrette, okay? But don't leave it all on there. Just take it out. Just take it out. Just like that. You see? Just take it out. Right there, friends. And all we're going to do now, all we're going to do, see right there, that's all you want. Right? And all we want to do now is we're going to put them on a cookie sheet, and then we're going to bake them in the oven. And now I can take away my gloves, clean my hand, and I'm going to pop them in the oven. And then we'll come back later on and we're going to finish it up. I got my oven at 375. I'm going to cook it until it's tender. I'm going to put like a toothpick in the middle of it, and when it's tender, It could take 15, 20 minutes at 375. Depends how thick your mushroom is. You're gonna have to play with it and test it with your toothpick. Make sure it's ready, okay? So we'll come back and we'll finish it up. We'll put the cheese on it. Okay, let me take them out of the oven. Let me show you after 15, 20 minutes. Remember, it all depends the size of it. Matter of fact, I added an extra one off camera because I wanted to show you exactly the difference of it. It's very important. Let me get my tongs. I add my tongs and I let them go. So I wanted to show you. You notice they're full of water right there, and they're full of water, and they're also full of vinaigrette. So if you notice, I don't know if you can see it, but they're soft, you see? They're not mushy at all. They're soft. They're just cooked. Now, this guy right there I added later, and you can see it's a little thicker, so be careful when you do it. You can also use a toothpick to give you a pretty good idea. When you put it on there, you can feel it. You see, look, you can feel it by putting a toothpick. They go right through it, you see? So that's something you're going to have to get used to it. How do you want it to cook? Because I can't tell you it's going to take exactly 17 minutes because it depends how thick they are. And that makes a big difference, right? And so now what we're going to do, we're going to take it, we're going to flip them on the other side, and that we are done. We can let them cool, and whenever we're ready to eat them, we're going to put the cheese, and then we're going to put them back in the oven. So if you're going to make those, I tell you, anybody who's ever had those, say they have to make them again. They're so amazing, right? And what you do, you make them ahead. You can put them in the refrigerator. And then when you're ready to serve, all you got to do is put the cheese on it and bake them in the oven again and melt the cheese in it, okay? So we're going to let them rest. We're going to let them also drop all that extra water. Look, see right there? You drop all that extra water in there and vinaigrette, and we're going to let them cool, and then we'll finish them up. That'll be the third segment of this demonstration, where we finish them up and plate them. Okay, mushrooms are out. They're rested. They were in there long enough, so then they released most of the water, and the vinaigrette then was on it. Now I'm going to put a little cheese mixture, and I'm going to go back and put them in the oven for a few minutes before we can eat them. So now we're going to make a little cheese mixture. You can use any cheese you want. I mean, sometimes I just slice some brie cheese and put it on it, very thin, and that works beautiful. Sometimes I just crumble goat cheese on it. Today we're going to make a little mixture of mascarpone, an Italian cream cheese. You can use mascarpone, you can use cream cheese, and some beautiful goat cheese. Okay, we're going to put I like a little more goat cheese, so I'm putting a little more goat cheese in there, right? As long as you measure carefully. You know, I put extra cheese because you can never have too much cheese. And then we're going to put a little bit of sun-dried tomatoes, just a few sun-dried tomatoes in there. It's going to give us a nice little pinkish color, kind of cool, nice flavor also. A little bit of chopped parsley. I mean, you don't have to chop it in advance. I think it's easier if we chop it in advance, but don't have to. A little bit of garlic. This is the puree of garlic that we make. You can have chopped garlic in there. This is a garlic puree that we make. We have a video on that to show you how to do it, right? And then we're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in there. All right, a little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're going to go in and we're going to process this until it's nice and smooth. Then I'm going to put it on top of the mushroom. And first I'm going to put a little bit of Reggiano Parmesan. Then I'm going to put them on top of the mushroom. And then I'm going to put a little Reggiano Parmesan. I'm going to bake them. I'm going to serve it. Let me show you how I do it. Just want to make sure the cheese is nicely mixed. Like I said, you don't have to do a cheese mixture like that if you don't want to do a cheese mixture like that. Just grate some cheddar cheese on there, put some brie cheese in there. Yeah, put some kind of cheese in there, right? And then what I do is I put it in a pastry bag because, you know, it's okay if you're doing 2 or 3 mushrooms to just put it with a spoon on it. You could just take a spoon and put it on there, you know. Put a little ice cream scoop of some kind, you can put it on there too. You know, that's another tip. I use a pastry bag because I'm a professional. And this is a disposable pastry bag, so we can throw it away after we're done with it. And yeah, I look like a professional right now. So look, We take it, we'll bring it all out. You notice I haven't made a hole in there yet. And all I'm doing is one of those guys right there. And look, see, if you twist it correctly, none of the cheese stays. None of the cheese stays in your pastry bag. I like to use a disposable pastry bag because then you don't have to wash them anymore, you see? And all I do now is look. I put the cheese, but not all the way out, because what happens is when the cheese gets hot, it spreads out and it covers the whole mushroom right there. You'll see when it cooks out in a minute. And this right there, if you have extra, you can freeze it. These mushrooms are fabulous. Okay, you can freeze this. It'll freeze beautiful. Not a problem at all. And what I like to do, I like to put a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano on top, right there, just like that. And then we're going to bake them. Wait until you see how beautiful they are when they come out. We're going to put them in there. We're just going to bake them in the oven. That's it. Just a few minutes, long enough for the cheese to melt. Right? Just going to put them right in there. And we're good to go. That's it. Really simple. We'll be back in a few minutes and we're going to plate it. Okay. We are now, the mushrooms is in the oven with the cheese. It's almost ready to go. I'm going to serve it with a 28-year-old balsamic vinegar. Then I'm going to put it on a plate, and I'm also going to put the mushroom, and then I'm going to put an arugula salad on top of it as a nice presentation, okay? I'm going to show you how to do all this. It's really simple. First, we're going to make a vinaigrette. Vinaigrette is vinegar, and oil. And remember, we're using a Sicilian lemon, white balsamic vinegar, and a basil olive oil, okay? And I have those on our site. It's fabulous. The measurement you do, it's really up to you. My vinegar is sweet because it's 12 years old. So I put a little bit of lemon juice in it to give me a little bit of acidity in there. And I'm going to create an emulsion, okay? You create an emulsion. That means you're blending the oil and the vinegar. It's the only way to do it. You need a blade to do this, okay? You cannot do this with a fork or a whisk. That doesn't do a damn thing, okay? You want to create an emulsion, you need a blade. And this emulsion blender gives you that opportunity right there, okay? So I'm going to put this aside. And I'm going to go and take the mushrooms out of the oven. The cheese will have melted. And then we're going to put them on a plate, okay? Let's give it a second. Probably another quick little second. That's okay. We can prepare a plate. And the plate now, remember, older the balsamic vinegar, thicker it gets. This is not a glaze. This is not a vinegar where sugar and starch like guar gum or some kind has been thicker. It is thickened because it's old, okay? And all I do is I take a little bit of it, I put it on a plate. Very simple. You don't need a lot because as you can see, it's thick, right? And then we're going to take the mushrooms out. We're going to take the mushroom out right there. Just put it right on top of the plate. Now, the vinaigrette, friends, you take a little bit of the vinaigrette right there. You mix that up really, really nice. Mix it up really, really nice and just put a little bit of the arugula salad on top. And this, my friends, let me tell you, this is absolutely wonderful. Make sure your arugula salad is nice on top. Make sure it doesn't fall on the side of the plate. You can put a little bit of fresh black pepper if you have it. Just a little bit of black pepper right there. And that's all you need, friends. And this is making a beautiful, beautiful appetizer and so simple to make. You just got to get ready for it.